For about $100, I performed these 7 upgrades to my Trek Marlin. I'll give a brief overview of the upgrades that I performed, and then I'll go in detail how to install each of these upgrades. I first started with a more comfortable seat. This saddle is wider and is more comfortable for longer rides. I then added a stem riser to bring the handlebars up for a more comfortable riding position. I also added a kickstand that bolts to the frame, and a water bottle holder, Mudguard for the front wheel, a horn or bell that I can alert pedestrians, and a rubber phone holder. Those are the 7 upgrades that I performed. Now I am going to upgrade the tires later on as I get 400 or 500 miles. These tires could definitely be improved, and also probably the pedals and grips. I'll get to that in a later video. But before we get started on the install, I hope that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching. In this segment, I'm going to replace the stem riser. Now you could replace the handlebars, but then you have to take the brakes, the shifter, and everything off with a bowed set of handlebars. But this is a little bit easier to install and cheaper. I'm going to loosen these bolts and the 4 bolts on the front here, and then install this handlebar riser. This handlebar riser should give me a more comfortable position. You can buy various heights. A link to this product is below, so let's get started on disassembling and assembling. I removed the old stem, and I'm going to put the new stem on that raises the handlebars up. Now I'm going to slide this on like this, and one thing that you want to do is reuse the old cap and spacer. Now, not sure if you need this extra spacer or just the cap. I'm going to go without it because this one tends to be taller. But one of the things you want to do is tighten all this up. You can see this loosened up as I took the old stem off. So I'm just going to thread that back in. Use my 4mm hex key just to tighten this down. I want to get this positioned how I think it should go. Now you can still see there's a lot of slop in here. So what I'm going to do is pick up the front of the bike, make sure this all gets seated properly, and then tighten the cap down. You can see it's starting to seat right here. Okay, it's on there about a little past finger tight. If you have some play, you might have to come back and tighten this down, but you want to make sure this is good. All right. What I'm going to do is install the handlebars, and then I'll come back and tighten and re-torque everything down. Go ahead and remove this cap. Okay, now that I got my cap installed, I'm going to go ahead and get on the bike here and get everything straightened around. So get this aligned with that. Oh yeah, I can definitely feel this is better. I think I'm going to have to rotate the handlebars down, but now, and the other thing, before you tighten the side, make sure there's no play. You can see that this cap is nice and tight. Everything is secured. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten the bolts down here on the side of the stem. I'm just going to tighten them down like a smidge past finger tight. If you don't have a torque wrench, then just go maybe a 1/4 turn to 1/8 of a turn past finger tight. If you have a torque wrench, which I do, I'm going to go ahead and torque them to the specification written on the side here. It's 5 Newton meters. This top cap says 5 Newton meters. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this one up here is, I think it said 6 Newton meters. So, definitely feels a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. I need to rotate the handlebars just a smidge, but overall that's a lot more comfortable riding position compared to the stock position. Okay, go ahead and torque this down. To install the front mudguard, simply grab the mudguard and the 4 zip ties, and you can see I already started a few of them, and then feed them in the holes like this so that you're all set up to tighten that down. You're going to need a pair of scissors or a pair of dikes to cut the extra zip ties. Now that I have that set up like this, I'm going to simply fold it over like this in the shape of the mud guard, and then slide the zip ties through the front of the shock like this. Get that attached, and then tighten down your zip ties. You may want to just tighten them down a little bit so you get them all centered and where you want it. Now I won't have the water splashing up on me. And lastly, I'm going to trim the zip ties. Got the handlebars in a comfortable position. I'm going to use this phone holder. I like this one because it's all rubber. I've had a hard one, and then when I crashed once, it definitely hurts when it's hard. This one's a lot more forgiving, and it's easy to install and remove when you want. You just simply put the band around, slide it through the bottom sleeve, and then there's a clasp here. You can move it to any size. It's any size part of the handlebar. That's what I like about this one. There's no hardware, and then you can clip any type of smartphone on that. In this segment, we're going to install this kickstand on the frame like this. I know I'm going to catch a lot of slack for putting a kickstand on this bike, but I'd rather have it stand upright than have my kid drop it all over and scratch everything up. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove these little rubber plugs. The bolts come with Loctite on it, the blue, and then you just simply line up the bolts and install it. And if you need to adjust the length, there's a set screw on the back, but it should be good the way it is. It's not too bad. I'm going to leave it there. If I need to adjust it up and down, it's easy to put up and to put down. To install the water bottle holder, it's really easy. You just simply loosen the 2 bolts on the frame with a hex key and then secure the water bottle cage. You can also install one here, which is nice. This bike has a dual option. One thing you need is a nice, good bell. This one's loud. When you're on bike pass, it's nice to have a good bell. A link to this one is below, but you can buy just about any good bell from Amazon or wherever, your bike store. And this one has a reducer if I need to. I'm going to put it on this side because the shifter is on that side. And then use a 2.5 millimeter screw and then secure that. Now you don't want it to touch any of the hardware, or else the bell won't ring. It's nice and loud, but not too loud where it's obnoxious. Come down here, secure it from the bottom. All right, cool deal. Last thing I want to do is replace this stock seat with a better, more comfortable saddle. And then I'm going to remove the seat. I did cut this post off about 3 inches for my height. So you can easily do that if the seat post doesn't go down far enough. So I like this seat. A link to this seat is above and also in the description. I got a medium padding. I'm going to go and try this and undo these bolts and get that attached. Now the seat can be adjusted by the seat post mount. If you want the seat forward or back, you can slide this on its rails and adjust it about 1 inch. I'm going to leave it where it was. I can also adjust the angle if I want. If I want the seat to be a little more angled or a little less, I can simply just tighten the back bolt a little bit more. I'm going to try it here. I'm going to tighten this down. You can see each clasp is grabbing the rails on the seat. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. There is a torque spec here for 12 Newton meters. I I just simply just tighten it, not all the way, but a good bit past tight, like that. Now I have the seat, and I'm going to go ahead and try this out. Got the new seat on here. Go ahead and make sure that's cleaned out. It's about as low as it can go. I might cut the seat post down a little bit more with a hacksaw, but I'm going to set it about there. That seat is definitely more comfortable. The handlebars are definitely more comfortable. I might want to angle the seat up a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off and adjust it a smidge. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave in the comments. I hope that you liked this video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching.